What's up, you guys? Stoopzz back again with another video, and I've tried recording this video like 3 or 4 times now. I just can't get it out the way that I want to. You might read the title and it sounds kind of clickbait, but honest to God, it's actually not. I've been wanting to make this video for probably a month now, but I've been going through some weird stuff that kind of made me reluctant to make the video. But I think it'll be a good video for a lot of people out there. I think a lot of the times I get the question, hey Stoopzz, I want to start making content creation. Hey Stoopzz, I want to make videos. Hey Stoopzz, I want to pursue a new job or a new goal. So it's relevant to all of that. Even some of my real life friends have come up to me and saying, hey Stoopzz or hey Oliver, can you help me start streaming? And or just asking for general advice and questions. And I made a video way back when, like when I had 400 subscribers, talking about why I started YouTube, and I'll put like a picture on the screen somewhere, maybe I'll show some footage, and then you can also check in the description box below for that link. If you didn't see that video, I'm sure a lot of people haven't seen that video. That was almost 12,000 subscribers ago, and I think it's important that I make a video updating that and then just expanding on that. Now for me, I'm very nervous to make this video, to be honest. It's not a big deal if I have someone critique me on my analysis of things or my thoughts on a video game or like a class guide. I don't really care about that. It's just a video game to me. But when I put myself out there to make a video about myself and my life, then that's something that's very nerve-wracking for me. But I know that there's a lot of videos sometimes that you'll just skip through, me including myself. I'll find a video and I'll just kind of skip through it really fast, and I don't really spend too much time, like watching the entire video. But sometimes I'll come across a video that really grasps me as a human being, and it puts me in my seat, and I learn something from that, whether it helps me for a day, a week, a month, or even, hopefully a lifetime. I think that will be worth it enough for me to make this video, especially as I'm going through a lot personally with a lot of things. Maybe I'll include that in this video at the end, but it's a good way for me also to vent, so that's why I'm making this video. It's also gonna be the start for me to start a series where I'm gonna be helping people get started with YouTube content creation, or help people start streaming. I'm gonna be looking to make tutorials on that, and then just give people the general tips and advice that I was looking for when I first started. So this will be like a precursor to that tutorial series. So if you are looking to learn how to stream or make videos, because I had no idea what I was doing when I started. Literally, I had zero knowledge of how to edit or stream, make videos. I was only computer hardware savvy. I wasn't very, I didn't know anything about Photoshop or anything like that. So I'm going to try and show you guys the basics on how to get started. But first, I want to make this video and then expand on this throughout the next coming weeks. So in that original video, if you are interested in watching it, I just talked about my upbringing. Basically, before I started streaming, I had very, very bad substance abuse problems, like really bad. It stemmed from when I was really young. I had very bad ADHD, and when I was just at a young age, I started abusing my medication a lot, like my ADHD medication, very frequently. I was breaking them up and consuming them in ways that you're not supposed to. I was doing a lot of things at a really, really young age because it ran in my family. We grew up really poor, and my parents split up, and my dad ended up passing away when I turned about 18 from substance abuse. He'd been abusing all types of drugs, not just alcohol and stuff like that, but all types of things. Great father. I miss my dad every day, but yeah, he was just not in a good place mentally, and my mom ends up getting really sick when I'm in high school, and I was just like in such a bad state because I had moved and I'm living with my mom and her sister because my mom's sick, and it was just like not an ideal childhood. But not everyone has an ideal childhood, and I know that. It was just my story and what had happened to me. And during my high school career, I wasn't doing the best at all. I started doing better as I got older, but I wasn't doing well at all. I was just abusing my medication and just fitting in by doing drugs with my friends in high school. And well, my friends, I guess a lot of them still are my friends, but not all of them. And as I got closer to finishing, my mom ended up going through like an open heart procedure. She had she had peripheral artery disease, and she had to get like an aortic valve transplant. She has like a mechanical valve in her heart, so you can hear it. You can hear it like when you're next to her. You can hear like a little ticking sound, and that was like really hard for me. And I remember going to the hospital and sitting there and like looking at myself like, holy fuck, you know, like what am I doing with myself? My brother, I have an older brother, he went off to college, and I was just kind of taking this all by myself. Like I'm only 16 or 17 at the time. My mom's really sick and I don't have any money to my name. I don't know what I'm doing. So after going through all of that, I couldn't really break my substance abuse problems. I did for like a year after that moment, after she got sick again, and I started going to community college because I didn't have the grades to go to regular college. I went to community college and I did really, really well there. That year and a half, I did really well. I ended up getting like a scholarship to go to a university, and then I went and took on that university because I thought that was my only chance. But the problem was I didn't have any money, like at all. Although I got scholarships, I had to apply for a lot of loans and to pay for my living expenses, and I just had nothing to me. Like there was no help at all. My mom didn't come pick a school with me or anything like that. I had to figure out how to apply for college on my own, and it sounds like a sob story, but I just wasn't experienced. Like I didn't know, I wasn't practicing beforehand or getting information beforehand. So it was my own doing. I could have probably done a little bit better of a job figuring out how to apply for schools and just preparing a little bit better, but I ended up going to school. And then when I went back to college, when I was at the university, I kind of relapsed again and started using a bunch of other substances that I wasn't supposed to use, like beyond smoking and things like that. I was doing a lot of stuff to points where like I wouldn't get out of bed the next day, but I would still somehow manage to just do my schoolwork. I don't know how. I think I just like was so, even though I was sick and even though I was not in a great mental place, I knew that like I had to do this for myself and my mom. No one's there to look after me. No one's there to help me. If I had any financial problems, no one's going to help me. I remember one month I had to put my rent on my credit card, and thank God the place actually allowed that. So I had to put rent on a credit card. I had to put my textbooks on credit cards. A lot of my money probably went to bad, like things that I wasn't supposed to spend my money on, but I was just not in a good mental place. You know, I was struggling and I didn't know who to talk to. And I would go to a lot of festivals and shows with my friends and just party a lot, but I would still get my schoolwork done. But I was finishing up my counseling degree because I wanted to be a counselor. The reason I even went to community college, I had a really great experience with one of my counselors, and I realized how much I love people. I mean, that's part of the reason why I feel like I started doing that, you know, abusing drugs and stuff like that, was because it helped me feel closer to people. It gave me a niche for people, and I just loved being around people. I never had much of a family life. I never had anyone really close to me, so being around my friends or even their families always made me so happy. I used to love being around like my friends' parents and stuff like that. It always made me feel just connected and just felt like I had somewhere to go. So as I was getting close to finishing my counseling degree, I realized that I also was not ready, like financially, to graduate. Like I was getting out of my lease, and right when I was gonna get my lease, I had to do 3 internships. I was working a part-time job, so I was going to school full-time. I had an addiction problem. I had 3 internships that year, and then I also was working a part-time job as well. So I was very busy all the time, and I was just struggling to make it day by day. And I wasn't ready to graduate because I didn't have any money to me, and I didn't know where I was going to live. My lease was going to end. A few of my roommates were just moving back home. Like that's what a lot of people do. When they finish up school, they go back home for a couple months and they look for a new lease. But I didn't have that option just because of where my mom's situation was at, and you know, just what was going on in my life. I didn't have anywhere to go. So I ended up just saying, you know what? I have a scholarship for an extra year. They gave me a 5-year scholarship, so I went for an extra year. And I ended up just getting a business degree because I also thought I'd be really good at marketing. A lot of my professors told me that I was great at speaking and public speaking, and sales might be a great field for me, and marketing might be a great field for me. So I went into that, but partially or mostly because it was going to give me enough to survive that year. And I was just so nervous, man. I felt like I got shitted or just shafted the wrong hand. Like I felt like I got dealt the worst hand ever. Like it just felt bad. I mean, I know it sounds like, oh, you could live here or there, but you know, to where I was at in my life, it was not good. And I was doing a lot of things wrong that was making it harder on myself, but I couldn't stop. It was just like, I don't know how to describe it. You know, for you at home, if you haven't had problems like that, then I'm sure you don't get it. But for me, it was just a different atmosphere, and it was really hard on me. So I went to school for 1 more year, and I ended up getting enough money to move into another lease because of my scholarship. So I got into a new lease, and then while I was there, I ended up landing a job as like a counselor with kids. And then I worked like at the high school, and I was helping kids like prepare for college because I knew everything about that time afterwards about the college system, how to apply for schools. I knew like everything about like courses. I had to figure it all on my own. You know, no one was there to help me, and I was also applying for grad school. So I was going to go to grad school. I thought in my mind, I said, well, grad school is another way for me just to continue down this path. It was the only thing that I knew that was the right thing to do. Just like if I keep going to school, it's just that's going to save me. And so I was applying to grad school too. So I was working at the high school. I was doing a lot, and I was still having problems. But I started fixing my problems by just working out a lot more, but it was still there. And I remember I was just doing with so much stuff at my new lease. I wanted to start streaming because I loved World of Warcraft throughout my entire life. I used to play WoW off and on a lot because I would just sell boosts. Like I would sell carries for money or sell accounts, trade accounts for money, so I could buy, at the time, like more substances. That's what I did. You know, it was the new way I knew how to make money outside of that. So that's what I was doing off and on, like, you know, every other expansion or so. So I was like, I'll just come back to play WoW, and I'll play WoW just to like get my mind off things and stay away from substances. But I was still doing them pretty often. I don't even know if I include that in this video because I was probably really embarrassed to be honest, to include that at the time. Like when I first started streaming, I was still not in a good spot. And I remember I kept making excuses along the way, like why I wouldn't start making videos or streaming. Like I needed a bigger hard drive, I needed this. And then my roommate ended up saying, dude, I'm just going to buy you a hard drive because I'm tired of your excuses of why you don't start doing this. You know, why don't you do the habits that you think are going to help you? And he bought it for me, and I said, shit, I have to start. So I made my very first video. And in my very first video, I'll put it somewhere on the screen. There might be pictures throughout this video. It was not the best. I didn't know what I was doing. I YouTubed everything, and it came out okay. And then I kept working that way. And then I said I was going to start streaming, you know, like at a certain date. And I kept making excuses of why I wouldn't start streaming. I just didn't want to start something that I wanted to do. You know what I mean? You always do that. Like I'll start working out when I get the right gym shoes, or I'll start working out when I get the right fit, or I'll start working out when I get on my diet, or you always do that. I'll start, you know, treating my girlfriend better when, whatever it is. Like you always have, I'll start until, or I'll start when. And that's a lot of the problems that I was experiencing too for myself. But I remember I had like a big festival I was going to go to. It was like a 3-day binger event. Like I go to these before, and I walk away just feeling horrible for like 2 weeks afterwards. Like I don't feel good for 2 weeks because of just the activities and what I'm doing to myself. And I remember going to the gym, and I like was working out beforehand, and I only had like $300 to my name, and that was for my ticket. So I bought my ticket, and then I'm at the gym and I'm working out. And I remember I set up like a donation link because on one of my videos, not even when I started streaming, because I wanted to get a new desk for I needed a new desk. I'll probably show it here on the screen. I had like a crappy fold out plastic desk. It was like the worst desk. I remember I went to the gym and I was working out, and I got like a thing on my phone, and it said, hey, like War Deagle has donated $10 to you for one of my guides. Like, hey, thanks for the guides, here you go, hope this helps. And I remember that moment I felt like I broke out in tears, and I like got on the gym floor, and I was just in such a weird place. You know, it wasn't a good place, and just to get that kind of like reach out and support for what I was doing was just like so much. So I decided, like, after that moment, and after that's War Deagle, he still follows me all the time and supports me. I decided to sell my ticket for the event. I sold my ticket. I didn't pay for the host. I got out of everything, and I had like $400 to my name, and I put all of that in artwork in my channel, which created that logo over there behind me. And it got me like my overlays for my channel, and I put all my money into that. And then, you know, as I went along, I was getting people like sending me stuff. Like people were getting me a new desk for my setup. People helped me get my new microphone, and I just couldn't believe along the way like how much support I was getting. And I just started zoning everything out. And I decided that like once I sold my ticket and just started seeing the support, I'm just done using substances. So I just stopped going out. I stopped doing like everything else, and I just focused in on streaming, but I was still working. And then that happened for about a year, and I was working for that entire year, just staying sober. And I got like a position where I was about to finish my last degree. So I was going to school, like I said, streaming, and I had work. And it was a lot going to school, and I finished up. I graduated. I'll put some pictures here. There's probably with me with my mom at my graduation. And I was really happy she came out for my graduation. That meant a lot to me. And yeah, like at that moment, I was about to finish up again, and I had saved every penny of every donation I ever got, any ad revenue, I saved it all, and I had some money, not a ton, but I had like, I'll be honest, I had like $4,000 in my savings, and that was the most I've ever had growing up. I was like, holy shit, I have $4,000 in my savings. Like, that's crazy. And I said, well, you know, I gotta go find a new place to live. And my job where I was working at the high school, they offered me like a better position after a lot of negotiation. I had to like debate them and tell them they didn't want to pay me more. And it was like, I did a great job. They wanted to keep me, but they were like, we can't pay. They're a nonprofit and they're working with the school. Like, we can't do that. So, I ended up basically debating, like, dude, do I just stream full time and make videos full time? It's like keeping me off of all these things. It's giving me friendships. It's helping me. And it was such a hard move for me because I needed a new car, and like I went to school for 2 degrees and I'm gonna do this. But I ended up, after like a lot of my friends told me, you know what, like, it's helping you feel better, you're in a better place, do it. So I denied and quit my job, and then I started streaming and making videos full time. And this was like in it's 2018, so this was like August of 2017. And I'm not telling anybody watching this video that's what you should do. I really don't recommend it at all, like at all. I don't think it's a good idea for everybody. I don't think it's a good idea, I mean, almost ever. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just telling you what happened to me. And that month after, man, I got so much love and support. Like, I was able to get like a new car. I got at least a new car. My old car was so shitty, man. It would break down. I used to Uber on dates. It was so bad. Like, my situation was so bad. I remember I used to park in the back of the parking lot because I was so embarrassed of my car. And I would Uber on dates and tell a girl that I wanted to go drink or something. Like, that's what I wanted to do. I didn't tell her that I had a shitty car and I was embarrassed of it. I got a new car. I got this new computer here behind me for editing. I got like bigger tables. I have 2 desks. I got like a new microphone, audio setup. I got everything that I needed, a new chair for my back, like everything from streaming. And I'm like, wow, this was the best decision ever. But things don't always go that way, you know? And as you're working towards something, you're always going to have a voice in the back of your head, like, did you make the right move? Is this a mistake? Are you happy? It's the same thing. Like, the same thing that tells you I'll start when I get the right gym outfit is the same voice that's like, was this the right decision? Even though prior to this, it was what you wanted. And then the next month after was so bad. I had so many bad things happening back to back to back. There was like a local fire. I had to evacuate my house. I had a bunch of chargebacks. I had a bunch of bad things happen to me. My YouTube ad revenue like went really bad, and I was like just questioning like everything. And it happened another month, and it was 2 months in a row, and I'm digging into my savings now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is not what I wanted. I fucked up. Like, you're an idiot, da 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 da. But there was a moment where I went to bed and I looked up at the ceiling, and I was like, nah, like, there's no way I came this far, I've done this much, been through that much to let that define me. So I just woke up and I just said, it's not going to happen like that anymore. I started pumping out more videos, and then a lot of good things happened to me afterwards, like a lot of things, like sponsorship opportunities and just new people coming in, showing me so much support. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy. My videos were doing really well. Like, that was the best month ever on my videos. But there was a moment where I'm like, dude, this is so bad. Like, I made the biggest mistake, but I got through it. And like, I met that next month, I had so many good things. Like, streaming helped me so much. I mean, I remember like I had people that I was talking to in my comments, and then BlizzCon was coming around, and subscribers were flying out to come meet me, to come to BlizzCon with me. And then this next year now, I'm getting a house, and I'm seeing all of my subscribers. I'm inviting them. We're all going to go and go to BlizzCon together. It's like those things wouldn't have happened if I didn't start streaming. I would have been in a shitload of debt. I would have been abusing so many substances. I wouldn't have met all the people that I have. And it was because I took the leap to start something that I was scared to start, or I kept making excuses to start. It was because I broke the old habits that I knew were bad for me, and I did something that people thought was stupid. Like, there's my computer going crazy. It was stupid, but like I just believed in myself. At some point I found out that I could do this. I had the support from other people, the encouragement from other people, and that's what I always try to do now for other people. I always go to other streamers and I try and donate and help out there, because I think it's the right thing to do. Everyone just needs a little encouragement. So basically I'm making this video because I want everyone to know that it wasn't easy route for me. Like, people always sit there and they say like, oh, like I'm like, oh, I gotta wake up early tomorrow. Like, oh, like, what do you have to do in the morning? Like, oh, you can just wake up at noon. It's like, dude, you don't know like how much work and sacrifice I put to get to where I'm even at, which is not that big, and then how much work I put on the daily. Just because you're doing something else doesn't mean what I'm doing is easy. Like, you can look at me and say, oh, it looks so easy, it looks so it's not easy. And you can even look at like somebody that's a way bigger streamer and their life's not easy. It's a lot of work you have to put in. It's draining. It's mentally taxing. And you always are thinking about how you can improve and do things better. And it's just not easy. Like, the amount of hours I slept at my desk. I remember there's one day where I slept with a cereal bowl in my hand and it spilled all over my lap just from making a video. I was not like doing anything. I just passed out making a video. How many nights I don't get sleep, or how stressed out. It's not what you think it is, but it's worth it in the end if it's something that you love to do. So it is hard work, but I hope by like sharing my story and my problems and what I went through, it's not for me to flex or anything like that, because even now I'm dealing with a lot of stuff. Like, even now my mom's not doing well again, and I'm like technically her legal caretaker, and I was just staying with her for a couple months and I was going to move out, but now she has to leave for another medical reasons, and now I have to like figure out what I can't go with her, so I have to figure out what I'm gonna do, but I'm worried about her. It's not, I'm just not going through the best of times right now, but I know, just like before, if I stay focused and stay steady on what I want, and I don't let myself tell myself that I can't do whatever I want to get to or achieve what I want, or just keep going or pursuing, then if I don't let that happen, I can reach it or get there or achieve it. So that's kind of where I'm at now. But I'm hoping by just sharing all of this stuff and showing you guys how much streaming, and not even streaming, pursuing after what you want, whether it's a career or relationship, you know, fixing your relationship, or maybe there's something that you really want to save up for, or whatever. If you just focus in on that and you zone in on that and you exclude the habits that you know are holding you back, you know, you at home know there's something that I'm doing on a daily that's not helping me reach or get to what I want, right? You know, like, oh, I spend 3 hours a day just watching TV every day. Like, well, those 3 hours you could spend doing other things, you know, and then you're like, well, you know, that's my relaxation time. It's just like you always make up reasons of why you don't go after what you want, or why you can't achieve what you want. And I'm just sharing my story because I know that's not like that for everybody, but I started from the worst possible situation for my personal life, or my personal situation. It was the worst for me. I know people can have worse situations, and I'm not here to compare or contrast. I'm just sharing what I've been through, and I hope you don't judge me for that. And I improved it to where I'm at now, and I'm still struggling. You know, I'm still battling things for myself all the time. I'm still, you know, when I still have cravings and things like that. Like, I still battle with a lot of issues sometimes. So I just want you guys at home to understand that if you want to start doing something or pursuing something, you should do your best to zone in on what you want, exclude the habits that you know that are going to hurt you, and then just remind yourself along the way that the voices that tell you, is this the right decision for me? Is this not what I want? Just go for it. Try it out. If you don't like it, you have a lot of time. Don't be stressed if you're in school and you know what you're doing. Don't be, you know what I mean? I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't think I could go to college. There's always things. My computer's going ham behind me because it's getting hot in my room. But there's always things that are going to be like persuading you or changing your mind, and that's okay to kind of like say, I actually rather do this, but just don't get influenced by negative thoughts along the way, because they're always going to be there. And I hope that me sharing some of this is helpful for you guys. If you are looking to make content creation or YouTube, or, you know, making videos, I'm going to make some tutorials that might help you out. I want to thank all of you guys so much for helping me stay sober, and helping me you know, just getting my new car, and getting a new computer. And I just want to thank all you guys. I really do appreciate it. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope it came off right. I hope you guys understand. And yeah, again, just thank you. I just wanted to share that because it's very near and something very near and dear to my heart. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time.